One night, after enjoying an evening of drinks and games with friends and strangers at a local watering hole, I was irresponsibly driving myself home late into the night.
I shouldn't have been driving. I'm aware of that now, and I believe I knew better then. I only include these details, for if I wasn't, the story may have ended differently. As I approached the intersection directly before the bridge that leads to my road, I was shocked as a blur of white crossed the gaze of my headlights. I panicked and stopped. In the direction of the movement was a small white dog barking and jumping at a closed glass door. I had never seen the dog before, and in my drunken stupor I began to knock on the door. The homeowner did not answer. Instead, the house next door's light quickly came on as an older gentleman exited the garage. He asked me what I was doing and informed me that I was in fact being too loud. I apologized and told him that I nearly killed the runt and wanted to make sure that he got home safely. He informed me that the dog had been out on the streets for weeks and the owner was nowhere to be seen in days. He said that I wasn't the first the dog almost caused a crash on, and he would be calling the pound in the morning. My heart stopped at the thought. I offered to take the dog home, bathe him, and foster him until I heard from the original owner. He agreed and we exchanged information. The following morning I received a call from not the man from before, but the dog's owner. She was an older woman who had been away and trusted someone to watch the dog. They unfortunately failed. He had ran away from them one night and she had been broken. Being a man of my word, I offered to bring him home and did so about 3 or 4 in the afternoon that same day. She was overjoyed that he was home. We spoke for an hour and I went back to my day. I was glad that I did what I did. Around 10 p.m., she calls me back in tears, crying and weeping into the phone. She explains that she took him back earlier because she had plans to move him in with a friend until she was back on her feet and her friend was no longer able to help. She begged me, saying that I was trustworthy enough to take her little man for her and make sure he was given a good home. So I agreed. I told her to take another night to think it through. I knew how hard it would be to even think about giving away Peanut. But she insisted that I take the band-aid off sooner than later. So I left my home and met the lady at her front door. As we talked some more about her sons and about her past, I offered to send her updates and photos. As I called out a name to get his attention, she laughed and said that's pretty close to what we called him. I said, really? She smiled and said, I call him Chico. I kept my promise. For the next few months I sent her updates, getting advice on how to understand and deal with his anxiety and nervous nature. Eventually, the responses stopped. I kept sending pictures. Once I learned that her and her sons were no longer around, and were apparently arrested, I understood that he must have been through a lot to stay on the streets than be home. On August 10, 2025, while waiting for dinner to cook, he fell to the side and became stiff and started breathing heavy. After several hours in the ER, we were informed that he was passing out due to lack of oxygen and he wouldn't make it without surgeries that held no promises, and medicines that would cause more problems, giving him a life full of more misery. At 11:21 p.m., he took his final breath. I will forever be grateful for every moment God blessed me with him. He saved a broken man from drinking his life away and kept Mr. Peanut Butter, Dexter, and Princess Caroline from losing me. I'll love you forever and a day, buddy. I praying to see you again.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ken. This is probably one of the hardest videos I've made. I wanted to make it because Chico has been a massive part of everything we've done. He has developed a huge fan base, which is crazy to me. People have reached out to Happy and to Casper to see how we're doing, because we haven't been live in a while. And And we were hit with some pretty devastating health news for me. And then 4 days later, this happens. And I haven't sat down to write in a couple years, honestly. I tried very hard to read that and just do my own voice. I couldn't make it through that. So I'm grateful for the technology to tell you all that story. It is a true story. He changed my life. He changed all of my animals' lives. My cats, I know they miss him. They, as you can see, Princess lays in his chair, and you'll see on streams, Peanut still lays in his bed. I do plan on doing something better than this video to commemorate everything, because this has been a crazy 4 or 5 years since I technically adopted him and took him in. You guys have been awesome, sharing all the love you guys have for him. He will be forever missed. I'm just really grateful for everyone that has shown my animals the same love that I have, to the point that we had commands and prompts for you guys to do stuff for my dogs over the past several years of having them, from giving them treats to just showing them on camera. Man, it's crazy. We've taken the last 2 weeks to take a break and process everything that's going on. There's a lot. Is it fair? No. But I know that God kept him from suffering for years down the road. Like the story said, there was a lot of procedures they offered, and I couldn't put him through that. Hopefully we'll be doing stuff again soon. If you're the praying type, be praying for us. We got a bit of a journey ahead of us, and it's not going to be easy. So thank you for watching this video. If you watched it all the way through, I appreciate you more than you know. Take care of yourselves. I know this might tick some people off, but I know God's got this. But thank you for clicking on the video. If you made it all the way through to this part, I'm very grateful, and I hope to see all of you all soon. Thank you, and God bless.
The little face with it made it better. What are you doing?